Hey, Marissa DuBois here of MDVoiceover, and welcome back to Singing Tips for Voiceover Artists. Today, we're going to be diving into our mixed voice, what it is, a little bit of the science behind it, a few exercises to help you build strength and stamina in your mixed voice, and hopefully by the end of this, you will be able to identify your mixed voice and know some key reasons why it's important to really focus on this area. So what exactly is the mixed voice? Well, in a very basic definition, it is the middle ground between your chest voice and your head voice. Now, a little more of a scientific background of that. So if you take a look at this graphic here, you'll notice that your chest voice vocal cords are thick and not a lot of air comes through when we're in this zone through the vocal cords. When we move into our head voice, our vocal cords get thin and there is more space for the air to come through. So that's what gives our head voice that airy quality. The mixed voice is right in the middle where not too much air is seeping through, so you can have a lot of breath control here, but it's also not as thick. The vocal cords are not as thick and heavy as they are in our chest voice. Mixed voice is the zone that most contemporary songs and vocal artists that you know today sing in, as well as where a lot of your voiceover work is going to be. If you're going for jingles, if you're going for children's songs, if you're going for commercials, just know that this is a really important zone. The key to finding your mixed voice, if it doesn't come intuitively to you, is through what I like to call our bridges. So you know when you're singing a song and you're singing low in your range, and as your voice goes up, it wants to crack or flip. That is you approaching one of your bridges. Now the goal with these exercises that we're starting to learn is to smooth out those transitions so that when you reach one of your bridges, your voice doesn't just crack into the next zone. We want to build the strength so that it's nice and smooth into that next area. One of the best ways to start to find your mixed voice is to just start doing it. Using the Accompanist app again, going to the top 50 vocal exercises and exercise number 1 scale. I want to go ahead and start with a gee gee. Gee 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 gee. Don't forget to keep everything relaxed. Gee 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 gee. Start to wake up your mask. Gee 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 gee. Gee 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 gee. Keep the jaw open. Gee 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 gee. We're now going to say nay nay. Now nay nay is another really good one, a slightly different vowel and placement, but still helps you find that middle ground for our voice so that not too much air is coming through and it's not too heavy and thick. Now, I mentioned the mask and I haven't quite explained that yet. I think it is a key to starting to understand your mixed voice. So I've talked a little bit about just embracing that inner brat. It's important, especially if you don't know where your mixed voice is. Now, we don't want to live in that nasally place forever and for every job, but if you're just starting to explore your mixed voice, it's a great way to get started. So go ahead with this one, get really nasty. Nay, 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 nay. Get really nasally. Let's go ahead, starting again on C major. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. One more. Nay, 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 nay. Now, the last exercise I want to do is not in the Accompanist app, unfortunately. But we're going back to our lip bubbles, so you may remember them from the last video. Now, I didn't explain last time why I pinch my cheeks up like this. So one of the keys is not to build any bad habits as we are starting to learn our singing voice, and I talk a lot about keeping the face nice and relaxed. So the reason I use my hands here is to put a little tension into my lips so that I don't have to pinch my cheeks to get that easy flow of air. When I don't use my hands, my cheeks are working a little harder, so feel free to use your hands with me. This one is an exercise that I learned from Seth Riggs. Speech level singing is a style that I grew up working with. I definitely use a lot of that influence in my technique, though not exclusively, but this exercise specifically is a speech level singing exercise. I'll link the piano track below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1. This is a great one for starting to learn your mixed voice because it helps you go through your bridges and find upper areas of your range using different intervals, more advanced intervals. So I really love this one. Starting on the C, here's our note. La. 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 Now you know a little bit about the science of your mixed voice. You've learned a little bit about your bridges. We'll dive more into that later. And you know some exercises to help you build strength in your mixed voice. So do these even for 5 minutes a day. Use the Accompanist app, and I promise you're going to see huge improvements in your range and your consistency. If you have any questions for me about your singing voice or mixed voice specifically, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to cover it in the next video. And be sure to like and comment and subscribe. Would love to hear more from you. And also, if you're interested in setting up some one-on-one time with me, visit mdvoiceover.com/lessons, and we can set up a free 15-minute chat just to get to know each other and talk about your singing voice and see how I can possibly help you. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time when we talk about our head voice. Have a good one.